I've been selling on Amazon since 2019, and I'm here to say it, Amazon FBA does not work. That is why I am currently living in an RV, I lost my house, Amazon ruined my whole life. Now I know that's why you're here in this video, that's what you want to hear, but the truth is, Amazon does not work if you do these simple things that I'm going to talk about in this video. So plot twist, Amazon FBA has worked for me. That is why I'm living in this RV. I am now traveling full-time while we rent out our house. Yes, Amazon allowed me to buy my dream home, and we were living there for 3 years, and then we realized we want to start exploring the world. So selling on Amazon has allowed us to move into this RV. We're going to try to do this for a few years. If we like it, if not, then we will move back to our house. But that is the one reason why I chose Amazon FBA back in 2019, is because it allows you to do things like this. But Amazon FBA does not work if you do the 3 most common things that I've seen repeated over and over by new Amazon sellers. And yes, a lot of people will comment on my own videos saying Amazon does not work, it's a scam, and a lot of them actually don't even know what Amazon FBA is. They think it's drop shipping, which it is not, or they've done one of these 3 things that I'm going to talk about in this video and failed with their own Amazon FBA business. Now remember, there is no business out there where everybody does very well and gets great results and it's a get-rich-quick business. That does not exist. It's going to take time and work to learn the process, and the more work and time you put into your own business, the better results you will have. Now, I know Amazon FBA still works to this day because I've taught over 1,000 other people how to do exactly what I do, and within the last 5 to 6 months, I've had many students do very well. So let's get into it. Number 1, Amazon FBA does not work if you try to sell a random product, meaning you don't do the product research, you don't look at the data, you just think that a random product will sell on Amazon because others are getting sales on Amazon, so you think you're going to do the exact same. The truth is, there's a lot of data to look at before launching a product to prevent failures with that product. For example, a water bottle. A lot of people think, oh, water bottles do very well. A lot of people are buying water bottles, so I'll just put a water bottle on Amazon and start making money. So we're on Amazon and I typed in water bottle, and what you're going to notice is other sellers on Amazon are doing very well. This person's making over 100,000 a month. This person's getting over 20,000 sales in 1 month, and a lot of these sellers have great sales and numbers. So you think you're going to come in as a brand new seller and start making sales, but that is not how it works. So let's say that you want to sell handmade jewelry on Amazon, or a handmade jewelry box. Let's say that you want to start selling boxes for jewelry. We're going to type in here, and you're going to notice that there's not much data in this market, and that probably means that not many people are actually looking for this product. So if you sell a product like this, you're not going to get many sales because nobody's really looking for this product. And I could actually look at the data by using software like Helium 10. So the Chrome extension is called Helium 10 X-Ray. I'm going to pull that up right here, and this is why I like to use software like this. It does cost money. I do have discount codes down below, but this is going to help you prevent a lot of mistakes and lose a lot of money on a product because now you have the data. And we could see only 68 people are actually searching for that keyword on Amazon. So if you launch in a market that has low demand, your average sales are going to be very low. You're not going to get many sales on Amazon. And what's the point of selling a product on Amazon if you have no sales? So you have to look into the overall market, all the different data points, the profit margins, the fees, and all of these different things before you sell a product on Amazon. You cannot just sell a random product and start getting sales on Amazon. Now, the second reason why people fail on Amazon is they sell the exact same thing that other sellers are already selling on the platform. Why would a customer buy from someone who has no reviews over the other sellers that already have reviews and are established on Amazon? I always give this example. Let's say you go to the grocery store and you see all these different pickles. They're the same exact pickles, but the only difference is the price. So you're going to buy the cheaper pickles or the brand that you've heard of. And I'll give you guys an example of this right now. So one of the hot products right now are these butter squishy toys. And I'm going to show you how a lot of these people sell the same exact thing and kind of give you an idea of why these people fail on Amazon, even though the market has very high demand. So we can see this person's making over 50,000 a month. But if we look at all these different sellers on Amazon, you're going to notice they sell the same exact product. They're selling a 2-pack of these butter squishies. And we could see this person is getting more sales than this person because they're $4 cheaper. So if you sell the same exact thing as other people, it turns into a price war, meaning that new sellers are going to sell it at a cheaper price. And then you're thinking maybe you could come in the market and sell it even a lower price. But if you have to price your product way too low, you're not going to make any money. You're not going to make any profit on that product. So you can't just come in the market and say, I'll just sell it for $1. If you want to sell it for $1, you're probably going to lose $4 or $5 per sale. And you're going to lose money fast because all of Amazon's fees and the cost of the product. So it turns into a price war. Right now, this market still has very high demand. So all these people who are selling the same products are getting great sales on Amazon. But eventually, if the demand drops off, you want to sell something that's a little different. And by that right here, I have an example of this seller right here. They're selling a 2-pack of those butter squishies, but you're going to notice they have a different design on the product. The manufacturer can customize the products. So let's say that you want to sell a different type of butter squishy, a different color, a different quantity, different sizes. Those are ways that you could differentiate your product. So most of my students and my own products that have done well on Amazon are always differentiated, even if it's a different word on the product or different text or different quote, whatever it might be, you want to differentiate in that market. Another way to differentiate in a market like this person's selling a 3-pack. This person is selling a 1-pack. So again, quantity, different colors, different shapes, different features, different text, whatever it might be, always differentiate your product. And that brings me to the final one. The number one reason why most people fail on Amazon, they jump into a very competitive market. If you see a lot of sellers doing very well, for example, that water bottle market, let me pull that back up. You're going to see people are getting great sales on Amazon, but you're also going to see these top sellers have 131,000 reviews, 10,000 reviews, 6,000 reviews. You're not going to see a lot of sellers on Amazon on page 1, meaning at the top of the page when people search for water bottles, with very low reviews. And if you do, you can see this person's not getting many sales on Amazon. It's not even showing any sales on this listing. And then I could use Helium 10 as well, which I will do in a moment. But you're going to see a majority of the sellers on here have over 1,000 reviews. Now, why is that important? To get on page 1, you're going to have to sell a similar amount of products as these top sellers to get your product to the top of the page. Meaning, if these sellers are selling thousands of units per month, like these big brands right here, they're selling 10,000 units in a month, you're going to have to sell a good amount of product to get to the top of the page. They're not going to put you at the top of the page if you're not selling any products. So that's why it's impossible to compete in markets like this. Also, you're going to notice these are big brands selling water bottles. For example, Awala. Another big brand that you're competing against, Stanley, Hydro Flask. How are you going to compete in a market like this? Nobody knows your brand. If they're looking for a water bottle, they're going to see, oh, Stanley water bottle, 10,000 sales in the last month, 203,000 reviews. They're going to go to that seller and buy it. That leads me to how can you actually do well on Amazon? Take what I just told you and flip it. So now we're going to look for products that have low competition, meaning low reviews, and you're going to see a lot of new sellers on Amazon with under 1,000 reviews. These are the markets that you could do very well in. They take a little bit of time to find. Product research and finding a good product to sell on Amazon is the hardest part of the process. I do teach this stuff, so if you want to check that out down below, yes, I do charge for my time and value, and it does help limit a lot of costly mistakes and risks that I've seen a lot of new Amazon sellers make. So we are going to go back to that butter squishy, for example, since I already had it pulled up, and we will see that the top sellers have under 100 reviews. Like this person on here, 100 reviews, and they're making over 42,000 a month in sales. Let's see if we could find even lower reviews for this product. 10 reviews, they have 50 sales in the last month, and they're at the top of the page. So you want to see brand new sellers ranked at the top of the page in the market that you are looking to sell in. Here's a seller that has 3 reviews. They're towards the top of the page for their product, and the top seller has 893 reviews. So this market does not have too much sellers in the market. They don't have a lot of reviews. There's not a lot of saturation. Brand new sellers, you always want to make sure that there's sellers on page 1 with under 100 reviews. And even better, if you could find products on Amazon that have sales and they have under 10 reviews, like this one right here, they only have 4 reviews and they've already made over 50 sales in the last month. They probably launched on Amazon in the last month or 2, and they're already getting traction on Amazon. So that is the number one thing to look for. You want to find markets that have low competition, not a lot of sellers with high reviews, And my thing is, I never want to sell in a market where the top sellers have over 1,000 reviews. Very hard to compete in, very hard to get your product seen, and it's going to take you forever and a lot of money to get to the top of the page that people are actually searching on Amazon. All right, so now you're probably wondering, how do you actually find good products to sell on Amazon? The number one method, even to this day, is a tool called Helium 10, and basically it helps you find low competition, high demand products. And I'm going to pull it up right here. I'm going to log in real quick, and you could also find discount codes for this software down below. You don't have to use this software, but remember, the more research and the data that you look at before you launch a product is going to help limit a lot of mistakes that new Amazon sellers make, because now you have the data to make data-driven decisions rather than guessing if this random product is going to sell on Amazon. You spend all this time and money on a product, and then you realize it doesn't sell because you didn't look into the data behind that market. So that's why I like using Helium 10. And the tool that I like to use is called Helium 10 Black Box. Now, I'm not going to go over everything included in Helium 10. You could find those in other videos on my YouTube channel, and I'll make some more. But basically, the tool that they have on here is called Black Box. And you can look at all these different filters right here and pretty much narrow a product down based on the size or the category or the price point. And this really helps you find products that you would have never thought of based on the data rather than guessing. You can also go right here to the keywords tab, which is still my favorite way to find products. And based on the search volume, meaning how many times people search for a product, you can find products based on that data. So let's say, for example, you put in 10,000 monthly searches, and then you want to find a product that's making over 10,000 a month, and you want to find a product that has low competition, meaning 100 reviews or less. Now we could hit search and see what pops up in that market. So these are very powerful tools that you can use to help find good products based on data, again, rather than guessing what the product is going to do when you launch it on Amazon. Now you have clear insight into how the market looks. And then it's going to give you all this different data, how many times people are searching the product, and so on. All right, guys, so that is it. I haven't made long videos in a while. I've been making short form content, but I'm going to get back into it and start making long tutorials so you guys can learn exactly what I do, how I sell products on Amazon. And I also teach this stuff step by step. If you need a mentor, check out the description down below. But I am back, guys. We are currently traveling around the US. That's why I'm living in an RV. Amazon has allowed me to do this. So yes, Amazon is still a great opportunity. And the comments that you see out there, like Amazon is a scam or it doesn't work, are the same comments that I saw back in 2019. Amazon is still growing like crazy. People are addicted to buying products on Amazon. Amazon has over 200 million Prime customers. And if you could get a good product on Amazon in a low competition market, it is still a great opportunity even today. So thank you guys for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you have not for new tutorials coming soon. And if you want to check out my other videos on how I sell on Amazon, do that right now. But I'm back, guys. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.